You may have noticed a look being celebrated among many female characters and actors in movies and TV. The wide-eyed girl look. And it's not just you. People have been doting on the look for ages. In movie history, it's been admired through the likes of actors such as Audrey Hepburn, Shelley Duvall, and Bette Davis, as well as in animations where the wide-eyed look is taken to an impossible extreme. People have compiled lists online of famous wide-eyed women and girls using various terms, from enormous alien bug eyes to doe eyes, reminiscent of a Bambi-like female deer. Intuitively, the look communicates a sense of innocence, youth, and naivete. The term wide-eyed is itself defined as naive and full of wonder, but even though it conjures up images of baby-like features, it's also associated with seduction. And sometimes it's coded as weird, if not creepy.
One of those famous big eye paintings is on display tonight. Oh. It's cute, but it's creepy. Yeah, the eyes do follow you.
Amanda Seyfried, who often tops these lists, once said in an interview that her eyes make her look like a frog. Anya Taylor-Joy also said that she didn't initially get the positive feedback she enjoys now.
I've grown to love my eyes. I was really bullied for them when I was little, and now it seems that they're the thing that people want from me.
And the look has also been used to inspire horror. Here's our take on why the wide-eyed girl look is such an in beauty, and what exactly about her so intrigues our culture. So what do bug eyes and baby faces say of a person? There's a famous story about George Babyface Nelson, a bank robber during the Great Depression. He was said to inspire trust and innocence due to his baby-like facial features. Yet he was a particularly ruthless killer. While investigating the babyface phenomenon, science journalist Zaria Gorvit wrote, "If you're blessed with big doe eyes, it can help you get ahead and get away with more than you think." Which is backed up by the fact that babyface defendants found guilty of a crime have historically received less severe sentences. And the babyface overgeneralization hypothesis suggests that we're more likely to dote on and care for adults with baby faces due to the instinctual urge to care for actual babies. So in media, big eyes are often used to elicit a sense of love and warmth.
She has big green eyes and beautiful brown skin.
It's well documented that pupils can get bigger not only due to lighting changes, but also due to physical state and emotion. According to the Scientific American, pupil enlargement, which can give the impression of bigger eyes, can denote sexual interest and attraction. Perhaps the TikTok pupil test best illuminates this.
Think of someone, and if your pupil expands, you are in love.
The wide-eyed girl on screen is an object of desire, whose appeal essentially stems from a version of the problematic Lolita ideal. While the wide-eyed girl might not be explicitly a Lolita or underage, she's a visual combination of youthful innocence and sexiness. And if biology biases us to see wide eyes as a marker of innocence, youth, fertility, and therefore sometimes attraction, this is all reinforced and exploited in storytelling.
Look at this little baby face. It's beautiful. Oh.
Image makers use wide-eyed girls and women to represent innocence and beauty in young female characters throughout our most iconic films and shows. Costuming and makeup depict this type of femininity as submissive, pure, and sometimes kinda dumb.
I have a fifth sense.
We can see the subtle ways the big eye obsession takes root in animation, from the famous anime eyes to the big-eyed Disney princesses whose eyes, some have observed, can actually be bigger than their waists. The babyish features can make cartoon characters endearing to us, which is why children so readily connect to the big-eyed heroes. Yet, when BuzzFeed showed us what Disney princesses would look like with normal-sized eyes, the results actually feel disconcerting. Making these unrealistic expectations worse today, we have eye-enlarging phone filters that allow us to see ourselves with those impossibly proportioned eyes, and even get used to that self-image despite it being practically unattainable.
Yes, this is real. I know you shouldn't do this just for fun.
This glamour trend has inspired extreme plastic surgery, and that's not the only way this bizarre fascination has proven to be harmful. Today, there are growing concerns that some anime hypersexualizes young girls.
Like, she's harassed by men so much, it's painful.
A clear issue arises when this constant reinforcement pushes beauty standards to get even more baby-like, thus sexualizing actual adolescent girls. Other cultural fixtures like Bratz dolls contribute to the problem too. Sarah Simon writes in Le Atelier, "As a 12-year-old, I related to their plump baby faces. They tugged at a sexy-cute dichotomy that has influenced female beauty standards for millennia, encouraging women to be desirable while remaining childlike. Brats embody the infantilization of beauty." So, it's important to be conscious of how this biological fixation and influential media messaging can subconsciously alter our perceptions. When the wide-eyed girl isn't just sexy, she can also be creepy or otherworldly. Dolls, which often look like young girls, can become terrifying in certain contexts due to the uncanny valley effect, and their uncertain existence in between human and inanimate object.
Megan's not a person, Katie, she's a toy.
You don't get to say that.
The same may explain the use of the wide-eyed girl trope in horror, which is having a big moment today with examples like Mia Goth in various A24 and Neon horror flicks, Lupita Nyong'o in Us, and Amy Donald in the new screamer Megan. The wide-eyed girl in horror scares us because something's off, and she's not acting the way the big-eyed babyface should. Like George Babyface Nelson, there's a disconnect between their supposed outer innocence and the monstrosities they're actually committing. Scarlett Johansson famously played a literal alien wearing a bug-eyed human costume in the eerie sci-fi film Under the Skin. This figure might also be playing on the tension and moral discomfort that results from our culture's over-sexualizing of young girls.
She's always been jealous. I'm younger.
Yet, the wide-eyed horror girl, like a doll, still retains that baby-faced charisma which draws audiences to her on some level. Tim Burton, who was influenced by artist Margaret Keane, the subject of his movie Big Eyes, has often used big-eyed characters that feel creepy yet childlike.
Why are their eyes so big? The eyes are the windows of the soul.
And wide-eyed weird girl heroines like Wednesday Addams and Lydia Dietz combine that endearing admirability with the weirdness of alien eyes. So, the unnatural appearance of baby eyes on adult faces can play as sexy or creepy, and often both. Research has found preference for neotenous faces across cultures and ethnicities, but the preference for wide eyes is an especially strong Western beauty standard, one that's undoubtedly spread throughout our global culture. Many of the most high-profiled wide-eyed icons are white, and attractiveness and trust have so long been equated with whiteness. A study from Northwestern University found that black CEOs in the US were significantly more baby-faced than white CEOs. And the authors suggested that this baby-facedness may be a disarming mechanism that facilitates the success of black leaders by attenuating stereotypical perceptions that blacks are threatening. This research on what the wide-eyed aesthetic culturally implies gets at what can be sometimes hard to talk about, that how we look has a big impact on how we live. Fortunately, today, many wide-eyed actors are giving this trope a refresh, including Aubrey Plaza, who often plays discerning, intelligent, and attractive women.
If you can put up with him for 5 minutes, you can put up with him forever. He is consistent.
A consistent douche?
Jenna Ortega, who perfectly encapsulates the horror weird girl, was lauded for her performance as Wednesday Addams and is also set to play Lydia Dietz's daughter in an upcoming Beetlejuice sequel. Lupita Nyong'o recently took on the role of fighter activist Nakia in the Black Panther series.
If you are not so stubborn, you would make a great queen.
I would make a great queen because I am so stubborn.
Amanda Seyfried, who was originally known as Mean Girls' Karen Smith, wowed audiences by playing against type as Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes in The Dropout, which explored how Holmes's looks influenced the tech industry's treatment of her in a complicated way.
Why does everybody want to believe in this girl so badly?
Because she's pretty and blonde.
She makes the men in tech and business feel good without challenging them.
And of course, there's Anya Taylor-Joy, whose parts in The Queen's Gambit and The Menu have likewise explored how the world perceives and potentially misunderstands wide-eyed girls.
Men are gonna come along and want to teach you things. Doesn't make them any smarter.
So instead of only casting the wide-eyed girl as someone to coddle, fantasize about, or even fear, we should take stock in the way culture and media have conditioned us to view these cherubic features and recognize that humans are much deeper than their peepers. That's the take. Click here to watch the video we think you'll love, or here to check out a whole playlist of awesome content. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.